Alright, let me explain. I was bored this weekend, just gone, and I decided to read this, and it did not improve my situation at all. This is Image Comics with Shadowhawk issue 1. The cover is shiny, and it was inked by Robert Liefeldman, hence the overdone cross-action on what was meant to be a smooth mask. That is the reason it would shine, right? Because it was smooth and clean. They cannot even put thought into the first issue's cover, can they? We start with some odds in the local crime-ridden neighbourhood of New York, and the naughty gang boys try to mug a person walking by, but then that person is Shadowhawk in a trench coat and a hat, and he beats them all up, and he breaks their spines. That is a predilection of this book, it seems. Our protagonist loves crippling people for life. Right, I need to explain why I ever thought this would be good. Writer and artist Michael Valentino did a run at Marvel on Galactical Guardians that was pretty good. He did some great issues of What If as well. Issue 5 with Wonder Man and the Vision. Issue 25 with a story that makes SeaWorld Attacks good. And issue 41 with the Avengers fighting Galactus Man. He left Marvel to form Image Comics with Todd McFarlane and company, and Shadowhawk was his little project he kicked off with the launch of Image. He always felt a bit out of place with the rest of the Image crew because he felt more traditional. Art-wise, he felt more at home alongside someone like Michael Mann or maybe Bethany Belieber. Do you think Shadowhawk looks cool? That is a question I'm asking. Do you think this incredibly unoriginal looking, uninspired design that looks like a bunch of other characters thrown in a blender, do you think that this looks cool? There are a few commonalities with the other Image launch books. In fact, I would say that is about all there is in this. Spawn, Sewage Dragon, etc. One thing they all shared was their first issues fall flat. This does too. Another thing is that, I forgot about this. There is a super villain arsonist. Joy of joys. That is something you would never see at the big two, eh? More fucking street crime. This is interchangeable with Spawn issue 1. All the problems with Spawn issue 1, of which there are many, apply here. It might as well be the same fucking script that they have used. So we have another scene with Shadowhawk, another action scene. It's like a repeat of what we saw at the start. No new information is earned from this sequence. What we have, again, like Spawn issue 1, is an enigmatic, barely speaking central protagonist we are asked to follow just because he happens to be the protagonist. This first issue here just doesn't give you enough to ever care about Shadowhawk. Then we are introduced to a bunch of superfluous supporting characters. None of them exciting or appealing. They are broad stock characters. We have reporter woman, newspaper editor, cop man, art woman. Do you want to send off for Image Comics issue 0? I don't. Pretty much the same problem with Gideon is evident throughout this. We are given scenes introducing characters, but deliberately not telling us enough about them, or even rudimentary information like who they are or what they are. So why should I or anyone else care about this op woman whose purpose in the story they have determinedly left vague, like Gideon in his debut in New Muties issue 98. Our only plot beat in this is Shadowhawk is being pursued by the police. Shadowhawk is loosely a reworking of an idea or a character or a redesign or whatever that was originally going to be incorporated into the Star-Lord character in Galactical Guardians. Michael Valentino did the Dark Star-Lord story, which wasn't ever a story. He just had Star-Lord change his appearance and call himself Dark Star-Lord, and then cryptically act evil once or twice, and then he left Marvel before there was any actual story told about it. Some of his ideas for Dark Star-Lord were reworked into Shadowhawk. Then, our final story page, you have to turn sideways, which I love doing. But I tell you what, I'm not going to do it because I want to get to not these adverts that we have at the back for what I am sure are very successful and respected Image Comics properties that definitely came out on time, if at all. I want to get to the text piece at the back. I would criticise Shadowhawk issue 1 with the same thing I'd say of Spawn issue 1 or Sewage Dragon issue 1 or any of them. There's no hook. There's nothing to interest or intrigue a reader. There's nothing to bring you back for issue 2. Image Comics is a bunch of artists asking you to invest in entirely aesthetic and cosmetic comics devised by people who mostly don't think things through. According to this, though, there is meant to be a hook for this series. We're meant to be asking ourselves, who on earth Shadowhawk could be? Who is under the mask? Is it one of those exciting characters we were introduced to along the way? I don't care. Here's the thing. It failed to make me care about Shadowhawk. All he did was break spines and pose for splash pages. I don't care who is under the mask, because I don't care about the mask. The way it talks here about all the suspects that they have introduced in this issue, I never once considered any of those characters as being set up as possible secret identities of Shadowhawk. And it's not even a new hook. It's exactly what Gangbuster did almost 5 years earlier, and that was at least fun. I have little respect at all for the initial Image Comics offerings. It was a fat load of nout across the board. A bunch of artists left Marvel to go and make comics that relied heavily on reworking or ripping off popular Marvel and DC characters. Those were the creatives that believed they were outliers in the industry. People who, on the biggest stage they could build, could only offer a character that looks like a cross between Wolfman and RoboCop. Spawn does improve gradually. Its first year is poor, but it becomes tolerable eventually. This one instead becomes infrequently released. And then Kurt Busey takes over writing and plotting after the first 5 or 6 issues. Actually went in hoping this would be different, but it's like all the other Image debuts. Empty to the end. 7 thumbs up.